Here we're taking a look at the John Parris Excelsior queue. John Parris is a name that needs very little introduction. He probably is the most famous of all the modern day queue makers and certainly the choice for most of the top professionals. The Excelsior queue is one of his standard range of queues, and what that means is the designs are kind of set. There's no variation in the design for the Excelsior queue. You do get to specify the length, the weight, the tip size, but actually that's about it. You can't make any design changes. Having a look, you've got the very usual kind of badge that's been used here, the maker's name, and also the style of the queue being Excelsior. There has been the odd change to the font. Have a look online. There's only a couple of variations, so do your research. If you have any doubt, then it's well worth going on any of the social media channels and having a bit of a look and asking for an opinion. But yeah, it's well worth being aware. I do have a queue that I can show you, which is a John Parris Champion queue, which shows that different font that was used at the time as well. Anyway, back to this Excelsior queue. Like I said, it is a standard design, and that design is very attractive. It's 4 splices of purple heart wood with 4 light blue veneers and a hand spliced ebony butt. The queue is always a 3/4 jointed queue. He does not offer this in one piece. If you wanted this design but made in a one-piece queue, then you'd be looking at one of his specials or paragons or perhaps ultimate options. Here you get a chance to have a look at how that blue veneer kind of breaks up and provides a bit of contrast between the black ebony and that very vibrant purple heart. Very, very attractive design and very nice queue. Now it was an ash shafted queue, and when you order a standard range queue, you do not get to specify how many chevrons, the configuration of the grain pattern. So this is the queue as it was. One of the things that this queue did arrive with is actually a blank underbelly. The grain pattern gave us what we call as a blank underbelly of the queue, and what that means is you can see here that directly underneath there's very little kind of grain. There's no dark lines. Now if you play with the badge facing up, this means this is the part of the queue that's going to be rubbing along your bridge hand across your thumb and your forefinger, and a blank underbelly will give you a very, very smooth queuing experience, as smooth as you can get for ash and equal to maple. So some people really like that, and some people will detail blank underbelly, and if they do, that's exactly what they mean here. However, I will say, if you have a queue with a very good finish on it, if you're finishing a queue to a high standard, actually it's not that big a problem anymore. As long as that grain is filled and it's been kind of given a real good finish, it will absolutely be fine. And just to finish off here, here's a look at the shaft from a different angle. It was a snooker spec queue. I think it was 58 inch long, 9.5mm tip. I think the weight was about 18 ounce. What I have found is that the John Parris jointed queues, because of the way that they're made, they often come in above 18 ounce and upwards, 18, 19, 20 ounce regularly. It's not very often I've come across them where they weigh less than 18 ounce. But this was a fine queue, very nice, enjoyable. I think we'll just skip back and we'll close out with another view of the overall queue design. So hopefully you found that interesting. If you've got one of these queues, or if you've got any John Parris queue, let me know. I'd love to know a little bit more about it. If you've enjoyed the video, then give me a like. If you've got any questions about this queue or any other queue, please feel free to ask. And if you're interested in some of the other queues that I've had over the years, I'm doing very similar videos of queues from many of the top makers, so please feel free to check those out. Cheers.